Oh, Seraphine, I have to know, what did the barista say when you gave her the bookmark?
She was just super happy that I made her day. She even said that. She said I made her day. I just saw that she just brightened as soon as she came.
Is that what keeps you going? Because it sounds like you're doing more and more and more. Is it getting to see the responses that people have when you share these things with them that inspires you to keep making more?
Yes, there are comments on our projects, their smiles. The way that when we hand them something, maybe like a little charm, their spirits just lift up. Like we just made their day. Mm-hmm. So it just encourages us to keep going and keep bringing smiles to everyone.
Hey friend, welcome to the Growing Kindness Podcast. I'm your host, Deanna Kitchen, founder of the Growing Kindness Movement. This is a place where we grow together, learning to root our lives in kindness, connection, and community. If you've ever wished the world felt a little softer, a little more neighborly, or if you're craving stories that remind you that goodness still grows, you're in the right place. Together with our guests, we'll share stories of generosity and community, proof that even the smallest acts of kindness, from growing and giving cut flowers to everyday acts of care, can change lives and connect us in powerful ways. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started. This season is made possible by Heirloom Roses, our Season 2 sponsor. We're deeply grateful for their generosity that helps carry the Growing Kindness mission forward and makes these stories possible. Every once in a while, you get to meet individuals who remind you that kindness knows no limits. It doesn't require certain abilities, life experiences, or even age. Sometimes it looks like two young girls who are simply starting where they are and using what they have to grow kindness. Today's guests are two sisters, Seraphine and Aliana, ages 11 and 9, and they're joined today by their dad, Matthew, and they are growing kindness in an extra special way by making and giving crocheted bookmarks to seniors in their community. Together, we're going to talk about how their project got started, and the many other ways that they are growing kindness in their community. I know that you are going to leave this conversation today feeling inspired. Sometimes the people with the biggest lessons to teach us are not the ones with the loudest voices. So today I am just so honored and delighted to welcome Seraphine and Aliana and Matthew here with us today. So we are going to jump right in. Aliana, would you like to take a minute and introduce yourself?
My name is Aliana and I'm 9 years old.
My name is Seraphine Hernandez and I am 11 years old.
All right. And how about Dad? Dad, do you want to share a little bit? Maybe you could share a little bit about who you guys are as a family and where in the world you're growing kindness.
Yeah, so my name is Matthew Hernandez and I am 42 years old.
Fantastic.
I have a few extra years, right? But yeah, and we are in Linwood, Washington. This is where we're growing kindness. Really, growing kindness for us is all over. Doesn't necessarily need to be in our backyard, but we love our backyard too. And the Pacific Northwest is where we call home.
Awesome. I think every story has a beginning, and so we're going to begin at the beginning. Seraphine, can I ask you, when is the first time that you guys, as a family, heard about growing kindness? How did that story begin?
Well, we first got involved to the Growing Kindness Project by Miss Al from Dragonfly Blooms, and she invited us to make winter bouquets, and it inspired me. I decided to crochet flowers to add to the winter bouquets to make like a finishing touch.
This is such an exciting beginning. So one of the things that's really special and sweet is to see the way that kindness opens doors for new connections, right? Do I have the information correct that Miss Al is your neighbor? Is that true?
Yes.
Did you know her very well?
Yeah, I was just saying she's nearby. She's not quite too close. We have to drive a little bit, but she's a few blocks down.
So how did you guys get to know Miss Al? Was that through Growing Kindness that you met her for the first time, or was that something a relationship you already had?
We were when we were in Texas and we moved back to Washington, we were on this Buy Nothing community and we were looking for furniture and we saw that Miss Al was giving away tubers. So we decided to give it a shot, and here we are now. growing growing dahlias and giving them to our local seniors and community.
Oh my goodness. It was just last winter that you started making bouquets and crocheting the flowers to go into the bouquets with Miss Al.
Yes.
I love that. Aliana, were you a person who crocheted before this started, or did you have to learn how to crochet to do this?
I learned from my sister, Seraphine.
That is so, sisters are the best for teaching those kind of things, aren't they? So Seraphine, were you already crocheting when you started making the holiday cheer bouquets, or was that something you learned how to do just for this?
I already knew how to crochet before the bookmarks, but I started because we would visit our grandmother in Texas, and I would always just watch her crochet. So I learned, 3 years later, I learned how to crochet little trinkets and all these other little things that I can make for everyone. And then right now, I just started deciding crocheting bookmarks because I saw that everyone reads a lot. So I said, I could crochet all these bookmarks.
Excellent. So it started out with you were making a flower that would get tucked into these evergreens, right?
Yes.
So it was your idea that you just wanted, like you said, it was a finishing touch to kind of make it extra special. May I ask how many bookmarks you both made together for that first giving event?
I think we made about 60.
Wow, that's incredible. So can we back up to when you guys were helping with holiday cheer and giving those bouquets during the holidays? I know you were very much involved with helping make them. Did you get to help give them as well?
Yes. We got to give some to the seniors, and it was really fun.
Can you tell me, I'm going to start with, or I'm going to hop over to Aliana. Tell me a little bit about what that was like. Did you guys go in the daytime, in the evening? Did you go with Miss Al? How did it go when you delivered those bouquets?
We went in the evening, and it was fun.
Tell me more about that. Did you get to give them right to the people, or did you give them to the people who work there and they help hand them out?
We gave them to the seniors, and it was fun, and I love giving stuff to others.
Why is that?
Smiles. We love the smiles, right?
Yes.
But I should back up. That's kind of a hard question. Like, why do we, that's a lot of layers to unfold. I guess, Aliana, what I want to ask is, what happened when you gave those bouquets to people? What are the things that they said or did?
They said they love it and they appreciate it a lot.
How did that make you feel?
Happy.
I can only imagine. So that was your first experience with making and giving like floral gifts then to people at that time?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. And since then, you two have been very busy bees, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes.
But we enjoyed a lot.
I can see that so much. Matthew, as a parent, how cool to get to watch these connections unfold and get to watch this really incredible journey that the girls are now on. What was that like for you as a parent when that was beginning?
All I can say has been an absolute blessing. It's chicken soup for my soul, put it that way, because when I see them in action and you see their little hearts and those little hands moving, if you would have told me that 20 years ago, I was going to have a family like this with daughters, amazing, doing what they're doing and willing to give to make the world a better place, I would have been a little dubious. I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. I'm hoping it does. But now that it's here in my life, it's an absolute blessing to be a part of their journey and watch them in action.
Is this something that as a family you've been doing in other ways before Growing Kindness came into your life? Because I have to wonder if there's already been seeds being sown about looking out for others and serving others.
That's been my family's lineage for generations, let's say. My whole family's been in dentistry since my grandfather, and growing up in dentistry with my family, it's always been about serving. Servant leadership. That's my philosophy, is servant leadership. You could be a great leader, but the best ones I feel are the servants, the ones that are willing to help others rise. And the way I got started into Growing Kindness was serving the seniors in nursing and rehabilitation facilities. So I ended up negotiating a deal in the state of Washington for 2 nursing and rehabilitation facilities to be able to serve the seniors. I had 36 locations across the state, and I ended up putting a team together at 16. So yeah, that's when it got started, and I just love to help those who, in this case, I feel they're somewhat forgotten, right? And it's a burden for any provider to get out of their office and go to them. But for me, it's like, if there's a will, there's a way. And if I feel driven to it, and for me, I feel my drive to serve these patients. I found the way to do it. And I did that for almost 10 years until I ended up exiting out of that mobile dental and moved on. I ended up donating that entire group to another doctor, no charge, take care of my patients, continue serving them, and continue spreading the good word.
So very clearly there is a legacy of looking for those who have been forgotten or who are in need of kindness. And that is a tremendous part of who your family is and how they move. So no surprise, girls, that you jumped in both feet first when you met Miss Al and had the opportunity to get involved with giving and giving flowers and then giving flowers that you'd crocheted to long-term care residents. So since December, one of the really fun things as an organization I should share if anyone's listening isn't familiar with, every holiday season, we launch a campaign called the Holiday Cheer Campaign or Holiday Cheer Challenge. And the goal behind it is that even though the flowers have died for the winter, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, is that we keep giving. And so one of the ways we encourage that is people make evergreen bouquets and give those instead of like fresh flowers. And so since that time, there really hasn't been a tremendous amount of flowers growing yet, but you have found a way to keep growing kindness in your community and keep connecting with seniors. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you started with the bookmark project and what that's looked like for the last few months?
You want me to take that one? I'll start.
I think Aliana wants to
start?
answer it.
No, okay. I'll start it off because I can tell you the way before they got started with the bookmarks, they helped me tremendously at the office. So I work at the Dental Center. I'm the director of operations there. And the girls, they usually come with me in the morning. They'll do a morning joke. I do a dad joke of the day. So they'll come in with me and they'll present the joke, which is really amazing. And then I get started with my quick presentation in the morning. They wanted to contribute to some of the holiday festivities that we do in there. St. Patrick's Day was one. Valentine's Day was another. And the girls go, hey, let's make them some hearts and we can crochet some hearts, Dad. And I'm thinking, okay, really? So before I knew it, their little hands were going and I came home one day and it's like, Dad, look, and then we saw all these hearts. I'm like, what are those? It's like, we crocheted 70 something hearts. We have almost 70 team members at the practice. It's a big dental office. And I was like, wow, okay. So we ended up tying those to the little lollipops, right?
Yeah.
The little lollipops. And then we passed out these to the team and to the patients as they came in to spread some cheer. Valentine's was the little hearts, right? Mm-hmm. And then the clovers for St. Patrick's Day. They crocheted, 4-leaf clover is for St. Patrick's Day. We passed those out too. So once that happened, and I think the little hands started going and the brain started flying, and then all of a sudden, it turned into a bookmark, which Seraphine recently created a bookmark that was for a barista at a coffee shop that we frequent. And this bookmark looked like a legit cup of matcha. It even had the little feather on top where you would, put that little, logo on the top of it and make like a leaf. And it looked so gorgeous. I was shocked, but to see that level of commitment and passion to do something, to make someone smile and make their day. Yes, that's essentially how that got started and how it continued to where we are today.
Oh, Seraphine, I have to know, what did the barista say when you gave her the bookmark?
She was
like
she was just super happy that I made her day. She even said that. She said I made her day. I just saw that she just brightened as soon as she came.
Is that what keeps you going? Because it sounds like you're doing more and more and more. Is it getting to see the responses that people have when you share these things with them that inspires you to keep making more?
Yes, there are comments on our projects, their smiles. The way that when we hand them something, even like a little charm, their spirits just lift up. We just made their day.
Mm-hmm.
So it just encourages us to keep going and keep bringing smiles to everyone.
Absolutely beautiful. I think that's a good reminder to us all. We just need to keep going and keep finding ways to bring smiles to other people. But it starts out with noticing people, right? And it sounds like you guys are really taking note of who are the people that we can brighten their days. So, Aliana, would you tell me more about the work that you and your sister have been doing now? You have been busy crocheting and you're creating bookmarks. Can you tell me more about what you're doing with the bookmarks as you make them?
I'm selling them and giving them to the seniors, and making them happy.
So you've been giving these to seniors also. Do you guys go as a family to visit long-term care? What does that look like for you now that the holiday cheer campaign is finished?
It's a little bit of both, yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes daddy's at work, so sometimes mommy will take them and they'll drop them off if they're not available, right? So some of it's us as a family, and sometimes it's just essentially giving it to the facility, and then they can disperse those accordingly with their little faces so they know who it came from.
Excellent. So, Aliana, do you get to see the seniors when you give them the bookmarks? It sounds like sometimes yes, but maybe not.
Sometimes always.
Oh, always. So always you get to hand them out individually. So you get to see every senior. How does that make you feel?
A lot happy.
A lot happy. It's really special, isn't it? When I go to long-term care, I don't go as much with my kids because my kids are getting grown up and really big now. But when we go together and when I go on my own, sometimes I feel happy and sad. I don't know if that happens to you when you go too. Sometimes I feel a little bit sad when I realize how lonely the people are there because they'll say they haven't had anybody come visit them in a really long time, or nobody comes and visits them. And so that makes me feel a little bit disheartened when I think about just the reality of how lonely some of these people are. And then I feel the same as you. It makes me feel really happy to know there's something that we can do to help them remember that they are not forgotten and that somebody cares about them and somebody wants to make them smile. Let's talk for a minute about your garden. So I know that you've been connected with Miss Al, who's one of our Growing Kindness ambassadors, and she's been helping you get started with growing some dahlias. Can you tell me more about your flower garden that you're growing now and what you hope to do with your flower garden?
Our deck is full of beautiful dahlias that are sprouting amazingly. And every morning we will wake up and check on the dahlias, make sure that we'll just wait patiently for that beautiful blossom to bloom. And then once they're done blooming, we'll cut them up, put them in bouquets, and we'll give them to our local seniors and our community.
Amazing. So these past winter months when things have been cold and gray, you've been creating the sunshine. You've been creating the flowers using yarn and by crocheting. Now you're also growing the blooms to be able to give them. And I'm so inspired by that because sometimes I think, well, the flowers aren't growing, so I really don't have something to share. But you girls jumped right in both feet first and created blooms to share when there were none blooming. And now, as your garden grows and blooms, you're going to be able to share these real fresh blooms as well. Do you think that you're going to continue sharing bookmarks alongside of the dahlias as well? Or are you going to kind of shift gears for the summer and focus on sharing flowers? What's next?
We'll probably do a mix of both, but as far as we know, we're going to keep crocheting bookmarks and bring more smiles on these people's faces.
I love it. You've decided to both make and give bookmarks, but you're also selling some of them. How does selling them help you with your goal? What's happening with the resources the funds that you're raising when you sell them?
With the selling, we do a buy what you can. So people will come and they'll give us money. But with that money, we use it to buy more supplies to crochet even more bookmarks and all these little trinkets for our local seniors and community. So yeah, we just do a buy what you can, and she and I will have a lot of fun.
Excellent. So you're using your sales to be able to support you and help you be able to give more, which I think is really, really a beautiful model to build a business on, to use that to help you give. I'm really, really just inspired by what you both are doing.
Thanks.
Let's go back to a garden question. Aliana, can you tell me, I know you're excitedly growing your garden for the summer. How many dahlias did you plant this year?
Probably 110.
Over 100.
Over 100. Yeah.
Like 110, more than 100?
Yes.
Wow. And they're growing in pots on your deck, is that right?
Yes.
Excellent. And this is your second year to grow dahlias. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are dahlias your favorite flower to grow and share, or do you have other flowers that you enjoy growing and sharing also?
Other flowers to enjoy and grow together.
What kind of flowers besides dahlias do you like to grow to be able to share?
I think it's the dahlias, but she's got another favorite flower, and I think we all think it's really pretty. That's what it is.
I love bluebells.
Oh, awesome. Those are really beautiful. So that's your is that your second favorite behind dahlias, or are dahlias your first favorite to grow and share?
Dahlias are my first favorite to grow.
Excellent. They just grow so many flowers, huh?
Yes.
I love it.
That's one of the things I love the most about them too, is there's just more and more and more blooms to be able to share, which is, I think it's a little bit like kindness, right? Like the more that we cut a dahlia and share the blooms, the more blooms come off of the next flush, or it keeps growing more and more blooms for us. And I think kindness is the same way. The more that we give it, the more that we actually have to give. We don't run out, right?
It also motivates people to do the same. I love that part too, because then we can keep it.
Yes. Yeah, it really does create ripples of impact that we don't know how far they're going to go. But it's exciting to think about the possibilities. All right. Well, girls, I think what's really unique about your story, we kind of talked about this at the beginning, is that there are lots of people we talk to on this podcast who are growing kindness in their communities, but none of them are doing it in the unique way that you are, by creating these floral bookmarks to share. And also not many people are starting out at the age that you guys are starting out as. So I was wondering if there were some kids listening today and they were maybe thinking about ways they could start growing kindness in their community. Is there any advice that you would give them? Anything that you would want to tell them that could help them or that would encourage them?
There's a saying from Simon Sinek, and he says, courage grows when we know someone is there for us. And to me, that just means doing things for others without expecting anything in return. And it's just awesome to say and think about. It just brings me joy, because that's just so true that it just really it lifts my spirits.
Amazing. So maybe it sounds like the advice that you'd like to give kids is you're going to receive so much from giving. You're going to get so much out of it when you give to others. That's a beautiful reminder for us all. Aliana, if there was someone who was maybe wanting to get started with growing and sharing flowers or making something to give to brighten somebody's spirits, is there something that you would tell them to help them out as they're getting started?
To me, kindness means being there for others. I crocheted my little sister a bookmark, but then she lost it. So then I crocheted her another one, and it felt happy for her.
So it's just showing up and sharing what you have, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be complicated. Sounds like maybe a little bit of grace and patience is always involved in that too, huh?
Just a little.
Keep going and never give up.
Just a little. Just don't give up. I think that's such wise encouragement to all of us, no matter what age we are, right? That's good. That's good advice for all of us.
It'll be really challenging in the beginning, but don't give up. It'll be worth it at the end.
What was the hardest thing for you in the beginning? What was the biggest challenge?
I think I was always thinking of making clothes or just little gadgets or trinkets that'll brighten people's day. But that was just always a little complicated because I never really knew how to do certain things that was included in the project. So it got really confusing and a little frustrating, but I never gave up because I really wanted to add smiles and joy to their lives.
So the things that used to be really hard, when you think back to when you were first crocheting, are the patterns and the trinkets that you were first making that were really challenging, are they still challenging to you or are they easy now?
They're getting a little easier, but I mean, sometimes they'll have a certain stitch that I forgot about, so then I'll have to review it again, and then I'll go back to crocheting the project. But overall, it's getting a little simpler.
Do you think that's because you're getting more skilled at doing it?
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. I would think that you've probably grown a lot of skills with all of this practice and all the hours that you're putting into it.
It's been worth it all.
That is inspiring to hear. All right, Matthew, I would love to ask you, I think that anyone listening right now is just really recognizing in your daughters that there have been seeds sown, like you shared in the beginning, of getting to watch an example of caring for others and getting to lead in your community through service. If there are parents listening today of young ones, what advice would you have to give parents to help cultivate this attitude that your girls beautifully display for us of not only looking for needs in their community and noticing others, but being willing to jump right in and do something? Is there anything that you could share that could be a takeaway for parents listening today?
Yes. Well, one thing I would start with is sometimes children aren't vocal about what they want. You know, they don't know what they don't know until you give them an outlet. And these days it's really tough to find what their outlet is when there's so many distractions. There's distractions with school, there's distractions with friends, there's distractions with, the internet, movies, there's all sorts of distractions. When we purposely as parents allow them to think for a second, we focus their efforts or their attention on something. I don't know, I don't want to say it necessarily old school, but old school mindset, right? Let's let them kick a can for a second. Let's let them go outside and just enjoy nature for a minute. Watch what happens when you allow them to do these things, and then you give them other outlets that are, nurturing. It allows them to express themselves in a more charismatic way, right? They'll be able to blossom, right? So support them in that. Try to find out what that is in your child. And then when you find what that may be, right? Maybe it's a martial art. Maybe it's an artist. Maybe it's cooking. I love to cook. I like to throw down every weekend with my daughters, but would they know that if I wouldn't have done that? And I love to involve them in that, right? We all have a little process in it. And when we eat, we come together and we all find that we love to do that together. So I would say to find out what that is and then allow them to blossom by focusing on that track. Keep them on it, support them, and let them know what you're doing is good, and that goodness will actually start to blossom into something else. And before long, you'll realize they'll turn into, something where those smiles never go away and they're still wanting to do more, so I feel just supporting that beautiful little flower and allowing it to blossom is the first step into showing them the way to happiness.
I love that. I think that that's a beautiful reminder is sometimes, and we think about it as a gardening analogy, sometimes the way that we help things bloom and grow is to create space around it. So like pulling out the weeds and the things that would take up the resources or the actual space where that flower could grow. And as you were sharing, I just had this visual of you as parents, cultivating this garden in your children's lives of just very intentionally removing some things that would either take up, time, energy, resources, attention, so that the things that they're creative and they're passionate about have room to actually flourish. And I think that's a really beautiful reminder to us all as parents, a way that we can support our kids in growing into the unique individuals that they are meant to be, but also cultivating that space to develop a passion that could ultimately end up being the thing that they can use to share with others.
Absolutely. You got it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I know that I'm truly inspired, girls, by considering the work that you're doing, especially with the Bookmark Project, to think outside the box for myself about what are the other ways that I can be growing kindness even when the flowers aren't blooming. So thank you for challenging me in a very good way by showing me through your example what you're doing. I'm really inspired by it, and I hope that those who are listening will also take this as a challenge for themselves also to really consider what are the ways that we can continue to grow kindness even when the flowers are not blooming. So I really, really am grateful and honored to have had you as guests today and to have the opportunity to share your story. I know that it's going to continue to inspire others. And I want you to know that we are all cheering for you. It really is important work when we all just do what we can in our communities where we are. If someone was listening today and they wanted to get in touch with you and support you, I know I've had a few people who reached out and asked if they could donate yarn to your campaign. And I've also had a few people who were interested in purchasing bookmarks to be able to help you continue funding the giving that you're doing. If there was anybody who wanted to be able to reach out and connect with you about that, what would be the best way for people to do that?
Instagram would be.
Okay, Mom's Instagram account. So what we will do is we will include that in the show notes here. So if anyone was listening today and they wanted to get in touch with you and support the work that you're doing to grow or to create and give these bookmarks, they could be able to do that. Or if they just wanted to leave you a note of encouragement and let you know they're cheering for you too, we'll make sure that they have that contact to be able to do that. Girls, I'm inspired by hearing the work that you're doing. And one of the really beautiful things about kindness is that we don't even always have to directly witness it. Sometimes we can just hear about it and we get to experience the same effect of either being given kindness or getting to watch somebody give kindness. So one of the things that I love to ask each of our podcast guests, just to remind us all about how powerful a small act of kindness is what is one small act of kindness that someone once did for you that you still carry in your heart today?
Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of amazing times where my family has helped me. They've encouraged me to continue on crocheting and helping everyone. That just inspired me to keep moving, because all these encouraging words that my sister Aliana has said, Dad, Mom, Camila, our littlest, said, they just lifted my spirits to continue my journey, to keep crocheting and adding more joy to their life. And your support and Miss Al's support has just,
I love that.
It just made me blossom even more to continue my journey.
Seraphine, oh my goodness, I just want to reach the screen and give you a big hug right now. I just am so inspired by your story. Aliana, how about you? Is there something that somebody once did for you? It could be a big thing or it could be a really little thing. Sometimes it's a good reminder that even the tiniest things can really make a big difference in our lives. What's a time when someone was really kind to you that you still remember today?
My sister crocheted me a headband and I really loved it. I told her, thank you. Maybe you should sell one or give one to a person who really appreciates it.
Oh, was that at the beginning of the days of crochet, Seraphine?
Yes.
Was that one of the first things you made?
I think that was the first thing I made. I was actually really impressed by the way how I made it, because to me I thought it was a little weird because I had no idea what I was doing. I was just adding certain patterns or stitches to the project. I was like, here, you can have it.
Don't forget my gloves.
Yeah, and Dad's gloves. I made him gloves and a scarf, and I didn't think it looked cool, but everyone else thought they were amazing. So even if it's a little weird or if it's not perfect, they'll still love it.
Yep, I couldn't agree more, because obviously your act of kindness is what your sister shared. You know, that act of kindness and giving those things to her really touched her, and she still thinks about it today. So that's pretty special. All right. Matthew, if it's okay, we'll end with you today. What's one small act of kindness that you still carry in your heart today?
I remember my family had a patient at the office that was a frequent patient, and my family was scaling practices, and I was going to school and working 20-hour days, sleeping very little, and just moving. Well, there was a time when we were scaling and moving, and I just forgot I existed. I just kept moving to try to help serve more people. And I don't even remember, I didn't eat for a couple of days, and she was like, you need to eat, Matthew. We need you to keep you strong. And I'm thinking, yes, ma'am, I'll eat. I'll do that here in a little bit. And I just kept moving, and she's like, he's not eating. So she left, and she came back with a bag full of goodies. She's like, Matthew, come on, we're going to get you going. So she ended up going to the back of the office, and she set down a whole smorgasbord of all kinds of goodies, and here's a sandwich, and I got some drinks here for you. We're going to make sure you eat. And I was just touched, because I'm used to doing for others versus the other way around, right? It's always me. Like, Matthew will take care of it. But when she did that, it reminded me that, okay, one, in order for me to continue on my mission, I have to take care of myself. I have to remember that. And two, just to see something as simple as that, someone actually seeing from the outside, not a family member, not even a close friend, just an actual, patient of my family's practices. And she took the time out of her life to go find something good to eat, bring it over there, and make sure I ate it before she left. And to this day, I never forgot that. And it meant the world to me. So something as simple as a bookmark or a flower or a clover or a little bit of food, just because somebody, you got to remind them, that you're not on your own on this planet. We're all here together to help one another and give you all that you need to continue to charge forward and take care of others.
Thank you so much for listening to the Growing Kindness podcast. If today's episode encouraged you, there are a few simple ways to keep growing kindness with us. First, you can join the team. When you become a Growing Kindness gardener, you link arms with like-minded, like-hearted people from all around the world who believe that small acts of kindness really do make a big difference. To learn more or join the team, visit growingkindnessproject.org/gardener. Thanks to the generosity of our donors, membership is free. Another way to get involved is to become a donor. The Growing Kindness movement and this, our podcast, are made possible by the generosity of our donors. Kind-hearted people who believe, just like you, kindness matters. If you'd like to support the movement, visit growingkindnessproject.org/donate to make a gift and keep kindness blooming. And finally, if this episode touched your heart, would you share it with a friend? It's one of the simplest ways to spread kindness today. I'm so grateful you're here. Until next time, keep growing kindness, one bloom at a time. This podcast is made possible in part by Her Connection Hub, a female-focused co-working space in Bellingham, Washington, who generously provides the studio space where these conversations are recorded.